It's safe to say that Toto Wolff and Christian Horner aren't the best of friends. So you'd be surprised to find out that the Austrian team principal of Mercedes has been incremental to the domination that we've seen from Red Bull, the team where the British gentleman Christian Horner is calling the shots. Those two have been at each other's throats ever since the monumental battle took place between their teams in 2021. So what did Toto Wolff do that helped Red Bull break all those records the last 2 seasons? I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. 2022. During the testing in 2022, an old phenomenon from the 70s returned to the track in Bahrain when the ground effect regulations were set in place. Ground effect cars are getting their downforce from tunnels in their floors, but have a nasty side effect called porpoising. Red Bull, with the guidance of Adrian Newey, had a handle on it, but Mercedes and Ferrari, amongst many other teams, suffered big time from it. Ferrari managed to still be very quick despite the porpoising and put up a fight in the first half of 2022. Charles Leclerc had a 43-point lead over Max Verstappen early in the season, and the Tifosi were getting their hopes up. Toto Wolff and Mercedes quickly discovered that they had it all wrong, and the data from their wind tunnel and CFD didn't correlate with what was happening on track. The way things were going, they wouldn't even be able to beat Ferrari, and instead of winning the constructors like in 2021, they'd finish third. The optimism from before the season started quickly turned into pessimism, so Mercedes needed to go in another direction. But instead of putting all their energy in fixing their car, they stubbornly stuck with the no sidepod concept. Even though some of the smaller teams had tried this concept and dropped it. Toto Wolff thought of another way to gain an advantage over the competition, and he and his drivers did everything to get it. The plan. When Toto Wolff wants something, he will go to any lengths to achieve it, pumpernickel included. The problem was of course the bouncing, and since Mike Elliott and the rest of the development team couldn't fix it, he pushed for another way to lose that disadvantage. It was pretty clear in the behavior of his driver pair, Hamilton and Russell, that they were pushing the narrative that porpoising was dangerous and that it wasn't possible to fix it without the help of the FIA. So a lot of complaining happened, a lot of drama and moaning and groaning as well. Some beautiful theatre from Lewis Hamilton, who couldn't get out of the car in Baku as well. Toto Wolff had a major row with the other team principals, and he played that part so well. Some of this was filmed by Drive to Survive, and those images were gold. We may have been surprised that Wolff had diagrams ready to explain the rules about a crash in Silverstone. The claim that he had Sergio Perez's comments printed out had everyone rolling on the floor laughing. What really amazed me, that time and again it was repeated that just raising the ride height wasn't the easy fix to the problem. The FIA was forced to do something about it on the basis that it was for safety. It was announced that measures would be taken after the summer break. Red Bull not happy, Mercedes delighted. Or not. The measures. To tackle the bouncing, the FIA introduced TD39. Toto Wolff successfully lobbied to get help with their biggest problem, and in a way that every other team was forced to change their car too. TD39 entailed 3 things. 1. A system to measure oscillations was introduced, a measure that we didn't hear about again after it was introduced in Spa. 2. Stricter stipulations of the flexibility of the plank were defined, something that bit Mercedes and Ferrari in the ass in Austin in 2023. 3. Minimum ride height of 15mm. So it looks like that driving the car with a higher ride height was the solution after all. At the time, some rumors were going around that Red Bull would be hit badly by these measures, and especially the flexibility of the plank was a big thing. I remember certain fan bases changing the name Crashstappen into Plankstappen, and none of his wins were legal. Always fun on Twitter, isn't it? However, it turned out that because Red Bull had no bouncing problem, they weren't hampered at all by the higher ride height. Ferrari took the biggest hit and came under pressure from Mercedes, who managed to get a win in Brazil with George Russell. The championship that had somewhat of a title battle turned into a one-man show with Max Verstappen winning most of the races. In the end, Ferrari did manage to keep P2 in the standings and Mercedes finished third. Porpoising did pop up again in several races in the years after the TD, but apparently it wasn't dangerous anymore. It was not long ago that Adrian Newey made a revelation about the TD and how it helped them. I also don't like it when the FIA issues artificial constructions, but watch till the end to find out why. If you like this content, would you be so kind as to subscribe? I aim to grow my community a little more with each video I make. I'd love to see you in one of my live streams, or at the premiere of one of my monthly podcasts. If you subscribe, you'll get a notification when I post something new, like the videos I post twice a week. If for some reason you don't like my content anymore, you can always unsubscribe. Thanks a million. Newey's revelation. Adrian Newey, Red Bull's design guru, talked about when the rule change was about to be introduced. A lot of teams weren't happy about the changes. And I don't blame them. Why should every team be forced to spend resources when one team has a problem? Talking to the race, he explained why Red Bull walked away from fighting the TD. It was because Newey advised them to do so. He said, the interesting thing about that was when the change was announced last year, we were discussing it internally. Some of our guys were saying, no, we've got to really fight this. But I took the view that actually in the high-speed corners last year, we were probably behind Ferrari. Our car was getting itself into problems in the high-speed corners, so actually that reg change might suit us. So we didn't really push against it too much. It turns out, it seems, it has suited us. So ironically, the TD, Toto Wolff and Mercedes pushed so hard to get implemented, gave rise to the Red Bull team to have the most dominant season that Formula 1 has ever seen. It didn't help his team one bit either, because the win in Brazil I talked about earlier gave Mercedes false hope that they were on the right path, and it caused them to pursue the same bad concept longer. I see a lot of unhappy fans pointing at the FIA or at Red Bull for their dominance, while it was the doing of the mid-season hampering in the regulations that caused it. Me, as a Dutch Max Verstappen fan, would like to thank Toto Wolff for his help, although I think it's better if he stops trying to help. These regulations, like any set of regulations, need time. The field will get closer over time, and other teams will get their wins. The reason why I don't like these artificial meddlings in the regs is that first of all, it's very hard for the smaller teams as they don't have the foundation to switch quickly, and second of all, if you introduce something new, it will benefit Red Bull as they have a perfect understanding of their car. The regulations are very restrictive as it is right now. All the artificial add-ons like party modes and the ability to use extra engine power during the race have been banished. The budget cap prevents teams from buying their way out of problems. The sport couldn't be more fair than it is now, as well as in the development race as in the actual racing. There's nothing the FIA could add that would guarantee a title fight. So please Toto, focus on giving James Allison everything that he needs to make the W15 or the W16 a beast, instead of your politics. The Formula 1 community is ready for another banger season like 2021. And it might not go Dutch then. Take care now. Doei doei. A special thanks to my channel members. Your help is much appreciated. If you want to support this channel too, click the link down below.